In this video, we'll look at how to create touch joints in Corona SDK. Joints can be used to assemble complex physical objects from multiple rigid bodies. For example, joints can be used to join the limbs of a ragdoll figure, attach the wheels of a vehicle to its body, create a moving elevator platform, and so on. Most joints are used to connect two rigid physical bodies, which means you must create these bodies first and then submit them as arguments to the physics.newJointConstructor function, along with other properties that may vary depending on the type of joint being created. A touch joint, known as a mouse joint in Box2D, connects a single object to an on-screen target point. This can be used to move an object to a target point by a theoretical elastic joint with variable strength and elasticity. The initial arguments of physics.newJoint are the type of joint to create, along with body A to connect, followed by the X and Y anchor point coordinates in content space. For touch joints, the anchor point can be considered the point at which to connect the body. For example, to connect a body by its center point, specify body.x and body.y as the last two arguments. Alternatively, to drag an object by the point it was touched on, use the event.x and event.y values returned by the touch event. This anchor point is commonly configured as a point within the bounds of the body, although it can reside outside the bounds if desired. Note that the body connected by the touch joint remains under simulation, so it will react fully with the other bodies in the world. Also, the body will rotate realistically under gravity when connected by a non-center anchor point. You can also set a number of properties to influence how touch joints function. Check the documentation located on the Corona Labs website for more details. Let's look at the code for creating touch joints. In this example, we've added our required physics library, started the physics engine, and set our gravity. We've also set the draw mode to hybrid so we can see where our anchor points connect. Next, we've created two shapes, set their respective colors, and added physics bodies to each. One shape is a dynamic box which the user will interact with, while the other shape is a static rectangle which acts as our ground. When we touch the box, a touch event is triggered which calls our onTouch function. Within the onTouch function, we check the phase of the event to see if the touch just began, has moved, ended, or has canceled. If the touch just began, we create a touch joint with our box at the coordinates of our finger. If the touch is moving, then we update the coordinates of our touch so the box follows our finger as it moves. If the touch phase has ended or is canceled, then we remove and nil our touch joint to free up resources. During each of these phases, our box interacts with the world just as we would expect any physics object to do. And that's a look at how to create touch joints in Corona SDK. Learn more about working with Corona SDK at coronalabs.com/university.